Hello, Paula here. I'm so glad that you're here with me today. I've been wanting to do video blogs for a really long time, but I really haven't taken the time to sit down and do them. And I keep trying to plan and think about what I'm going to do, what I'm going to say, and how I'm going to present. But today I decided, you know what? I'm just going to do it. So, one of the reasons I want to do a video blog is because I get a lot of questions from people. A lot of people are really beginning their journey on trying to figure out how it is that you become spiritual, what it is to be enlightened. Those are some of the questions that I most commonly get. How do you do it? Well, I'm going to tell you, it's going to be a long journey. And it's really not something that you can talk to one person about and get. It's really the kind of thing that you talk to many teachers, you're going to watch a lot of videos, you're going to read a lot of books, and the most important thing to remember is it really has to come from within, and you can get tools from people, but you have to remember that it's important to do the work. And that work is going to unfold layer by layer by layer by layer, and layer. So, what I'm trying to tell you is yes, you can absolutely have a spiritual journey, and it doesn't mean that you have to be perfect. What it means is that you have to be patient and you have to be loving with yourself. More than anything, that's really what being spiritual is, because you really have to find and uncover all of the mysteries that are within. You got to walk and dive deep into the shadow work, and you have to be really in a space of loving kindness to yourself. It's a long journey for many of us, and it's something that I continue to do. I am definitely not perfect. Yes, I do have a lot of knowledge and a lot of wisdom, and that comes from a long journey myself. I've been practicing a spiritual path officially probably about, I'd say about 9 years at this point. However, my spiritual journey has been since a child. There are things from my past that I was experiencing on a metaphysical level, where I was having contacts from spirit guides and angelic realms and some of the other not so kind spirits. But more on that on other videos. What I really want to answer today for you is, where do you start? You know, you're going to hear it often. People are going to tell you, number one, to meditate. And I know that it's something that's not easy for many people. Trust me, there are days that it's not so easy for me. But the one thing to remember is that meditation is not just sitting in silence. Meditation is anything from going from a walk to dance to just sitting in a place of silence and enjoying the beauty. In some cases, it's listening to music that relaxes you. And there's many different ways that you can do that. You can do it through art. Some people do it through writing. That really is a way to calm you, to center you, and let you listen to spirit. Now, when I say spirit, I'm talking about creator, divine, God, whatever, universal consciousness, whatever it is that means to you. So I will say that the most important thing really is going to be to sit in silence and meditate and whatever it is to you. Sit, dance, walk, I should say. I would say that that's number one. Number two is to do reading, looking at different books. There's a ton of resource on the web, obviously. I know the tricky thing is trying to sort through what is good and what isn't good. One of the things maybe you can start off is by focusing on some of the more popular teachers that are out there, like Deepak Chopra. Um, and I know even people will watch Oprah, and she's got a ton of books that she often refers. But I would say Eckhart Tolle is another one. But it really depends on what spiritual path you're deciding to go. That's going to be a whole other video. But I'll tell you what. Let me tell you how I started my journey. Um, as you will typically find when people decide it's time to really begin a spiritual path is when you've had changes in your life, upheavals, different things. In my case, it was because I was in the process of getting a divorce. There were many times that I had wanted to step into a spiritual path, but it just wasn't time for me. And then when I was getting divorced, I had a lot of time. um, and I started reading books on shamanism because my ancestry is actually Muscaleto Apache. Although that is my DNA, my blood, it's not something that I had any elders or people that I can talk to in the community. So I read a lot of books on shamanism, and one of the reasons I was drawn towards that is because there was a lot of things that I was doing intuitively just because it's part of my makeup, which is honoring the seasons, honoring the different phases of the moon, um, being drawn really to wanting to work with crystals and different flowers and creating altars, creating sacred space, making sure that my space was always having a vibration of love and healing. Because bringing all of those pieces together, the different plants, the different flowers, the crystals, putting them in a sacred space was relaxing to me. And when I started reading about shamanism, I started realizing that there's a lot of things that came instinctually to me, so it felt right. That's one type of path that you can do. So I began to look for elders in the community, which is not easy. And one of the reasons why I decided to make these videos, because I know that there's many places out there that it's really hard to find teachers. And finding a teacher is not the biggest struggle. Sometimes finding the right teacher, because not all teachers are going to resonate with you. There will be people that will look at this video and don't resonate with me, and that's okay. But there's going to be people that will resonate with me, and those are the people that I'm looking to touch. Those are the people that I really want to help through their journey. And I really want to be able to offer education, and I will have seminars, teleseminars, so you can really see me from anywhere and be able to walk the journey with you. It's something that is important to me, and it's something that's needed. So that's enough of that. But when I was looking for teachers, I couldn't find a lot in shamanism, so what I ended up finding was something similar, which is earth-based religion, meaning Wicca. And I was very lucky to be able to find some teachers in the community. I was over near Santa Cruz at that time. So Serpent's Kiss, I love you. I'm doing a shout out to you because I love you. But they're really great, honest people. And I was fortunate to find that because through that, I was able to open up a whole other window of experiencing my spiritual journey. And so that was the second way, but it wasn't the only way. Those were two pieces of my spiritual journey. The rest was through meditation, as I had said before. You will get a lot of inspiration when you silence your mind. When you sit in silence without all of the chaos going around. And I know from others that's something that's not easy to do, but you can find those times. There's times when the children are napping. There's times when you first wake up in the morning. And there's times after they've gone to bed and it's beautiful night outside. And that time's all yours. um, so anyways, going back to my story. It was a long journey. And while I was studying that, I was also studying to be a Reiki master. And that I took a long journey. It was probably a couple years. My master training class was a year long. And so I was learning Reiki at the same time I was practicing and learning the earth-based religions. And I was always curious about a lot of different spiritual paths. So I was very open to reading about Buddhism and everything under the sun, basically. And through that, I found really who I am. So what I want to tell you is that don't get attached to naming yourself a certain type of metaphysical practitioner. And what I mean by that is when I first started my journey, I was really trying to identify myself into a box, meaning I was a Reiki master. I was Wiccan. But within Wiccan, there's like a whole umbrella of different types of paths you can follow. So I kept trying to put myself in those boxes. And I realized, you know what? I'm eclectic. And that's okay. So I really stopped attaching myself to an identity. And the reason I felt that that was important for me is because we don't know what the truth is in terms of God, creator, universe, or nothing at all. So I really wanted to honor that and really tap into my ancient wisdom that lies within all of us. We all have those memories inside of us. So I wanted to tap into that and trust. Wherever I was being guided, that's where I was supposed to be. So that's a little bit about my journey, and I'm rambling on, so I'm going to end up cutting this short. But I just wanted to let you know that the step number one would be to meditate so that it will allow you to tap in. Step number two is to read about everything under the sun. Or maybe to begin, focus on one. And you find what that means to you. It could be Buddhism. It can be shamanism. It could be Wicca. It could be any of those. It could be anything else that is meaningful to you, because those were just the ones that I followed. The only thing that I would say that is extremely important, and that is to always use your discernment. Just because you read something in a book or that you hear it from a teacher that you trust doesn't necessarily mean that it resonates with you or that it's your truth. The important thing is that you learn the knowledge, you go within and see how it feels with you. What you don't want to do is get into one of those paths where you listen to somebody and you follow them only, because that's not what having a spiritual path is. So really, that's all I have to say on that. Sorry if it went too long, but I really just wanted to give you a starting point. And I will continue to make these videos, and I will focus on different areas. I will also have workshops that will deal with shadow work and meeting your angels and your spirit guides and all of those fun stuff. I'll teach you how to do clearings on yourself and all of that, and we'll just see how it evolves. I'll also be bringing up different books and things that you can read, things that I found that were good, because that is true. One of the things that comes up when you have books is there's so many options out there. Which teachers or which authors, I should say, are good ones. I'll say which ones I resonated with, and that's really all I can do. But that's it for now. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I look forward to continuing these videos, and that's it. I leave you now with a heart-centered, warm blessing, and I bid you the most beautiful, beautiful journey that you'll ever have. Thank you.